Well, hands down, I've already got mine. I've already got my top 3 on the top of my head over that. You know, Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Night of the Living Dead.
Okay, well just hang on a minute. Jesus, that was just my idea for the conversation.
All right, everybody, thank you for coming out tonight.
That was the podcast, and we're already done before we even started. Thank you. It's been 1 minute and 39 seconds, and we're already done. That was it. No.
Please put that in.
That was the worst thing ever. Hey everybody.
Hi folks. Apparently the theme music just ended.
Hey everybody. Welcome to the D Team podcast. We are a group of home slices that are all about horror movies. I am GODINAMACHINE.
I'm Chuck.
I'm the Turkey Man.
Second episode, and you're already changing your name. Second episode. God, we got a diva on our hands.
Oh God! And next you're gonna want a bowl of white M&Ms and shit. And
yeah,
it's like, all right,
go get edible paint.
We are going to podcast this while we are broadcasting this on Twitch and recording this for fun while we are playing our Dead by Daylight game. So enjoy that.
And God's kids are in the background.
And my kids are running amok. Yeah. But they're gonna play hide and go seek apparently in the pitch black dark in our 2.5-story house because that's safe. So I'm sure I'll have to run to the hospital after some stairs any moment now. Great. And
get your splints.
Right. Yay! So anyway, tonight's topic is most impactful, influential films of all times in the horror genre, and also least impactful and influential. And we all get our top 3 choices and kind of agree and disagree and battle it out from there to the death to see who's right and who's an idiot. So there we go. And I think KRAZY was going to start this evening with his top 3.
Spoiler alert, they're the idiots.
You already know. Alright, so my top 3, hands down.
Well, yeah, we already know. Hang on. We already know, but the people out there that are going to be listening to this don't know. So you got to retell them. That's how that works.
Yeah. What's your spiel?
Well, you know what I'm saying. Okay, so Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Halloween, and I was going to go back and forth between Night of the Living Dead or Night of the Living Dead or Saw. Yeah.
As most impactful.
Bold choice is all there.
Yes, influential.
Bold choice.
What do you mean bold choice?
Well, don't get me wrong.
Choice.
Saw started the torture porn genre, so I'll give it that much, even though it's more of a thriller than torture porn.
I wouldn't say it started the torture porn genre. Like maybe more toward the mainstream. Like brought
Look
it
at
out.
the Japanese people. They love that shit.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like you have
day for them. That's not torture porn.
I was gonna say like The Men Behind the Sun or whatever the movie was called, and like this 120 Days of Sodom or whatever. Like all that kind of.
The overall D team. Sorry, I just said something terribly racist about Japanese people. Sorry, Konnichiwa.
What it is normal for them, but in the film industry, they're all about that shit. But that's okay. That and Godzilla, which I can't argue that. But like
Godzilla
so what?
I don't even know what you said there. Okay, so okay, let's go over that again. Halloween, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Night of the Living Dead, and Saw. Is that what you said?
I'm gonna go back and forth between those 2. Night of the Living Dead, Saw.
Night of the Living
So
Dead and
that's
Saw.
basic number 3 split.
Well,
Yeah, number 3 split.
but see that's not fair because then that's 4, and we can't really do that. So you got
In his defense, the first episode I split my last 3, so
That's true too.
we ended up
but-
coming up with a third. So
That's true. Well, in that, all right, on Night of the Living Dead, that's kind of like a beginning. Next to the the original White Zombie, it was like the first of the real quote unquote zombie culture movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it really did it. And there was no brain eating, by the way, involved in zombie culture until Return of the Living Dead. By the way, that was the first movie that ever introduced that.
yep, some more brains.
In case you did not know that, little fun fact for anybody out there.
That that was supposed to be a serious sequel to Night of the Living Dead.
It was, yeah. And Good times.
They said, nah.
Right? Oh, I just got worried in our game, so I'm already fucking dead. That's great. Oh well. So anyway,
case, what's your top 3?
my top 3. Well, hold on a minute. Hold on. Most impactful, influential, game-changing films of the horror genre. 28 Days Later, because even though it is technically a virus movie, a viral movie, it is not a zombie movie. It completely altered the franchise. It took zombies from the slow-moving to the fast-paced zombies we know today. It put everything on end. Completely topsy-turvied it, 180'd it, changed everything. So as far as influential and game-changing films, it was one of the tops. I would say you also have things like Black Christmas, like the old slasher, like the first slasher films, you know. I mean, you had predates Halloween, if you didn't know that, by the way. Yeah, and a lot of people say Halloween was like the first slasher film, but movies like Black Christmas actually had a lot of the base stuff that is in all of the killer franchises, you know? A lot of like the first person perspective shots and a lot of that tension builds and the jump scare kind of stuff that predates all of them. And a lot of people don't realize that. And there's a lot of like other Italian films that was back then in the 70s that also was toying with some of those ideas too. So as far as
Argento.
Right, you know, so as far as
Lava, all those guys, yeah.
Impactful and influential, you know, game changers, I would say like Black Christmas. I'm trying to dig deep here, guys. I'm trying to really think of things that really changed the, you know, film industry, you know. And I'd say Blair Witch. I'd say Blair Witch. And not for the better. Not for the fucking better. I actually hate Blair Witch. I hate its guts. I've never seen it.
Bunch of scary noises in the woods.
But it changed the game. It changed the film industry on its ass because it showed people that they could spend $15, you know, on snacks and gas money with a couple of friends and a fucking camera, run out in the woods, run around for a night with some camping gear, and boom, you have $1 million movie. You know? They said, like, what was it, like $10 million to spend on that movie or something. Well, some motherfucker went home with $9.5 million in their pocket. You know what I mean? Like, easy. They bought a couple of nice cameras, and they spent some money on gas and food and some tents. And that's it.
Well, Blair Witch was, if I remember correctly, it was $10,000, and they sold it for $1 million. And then Miramax, was it Miramax? I can't remember. Anyway, whoever bought the film for $1 million made $100 million on it.
You see my point?
It was a ridiculous profit margin there.
And again, that right there, it was a game-changing film, a game-changing moment, because after that thing there, other than like Road Rules and the not Big Brother, but the other like shows on MTV where they were doing the reality shows, you know, like the Real World Road Rule Challenges or whatever. Other than crap like that, the reality TV. Other than that, the reality TV thing hadn't really been a big deal, you know. But after Blair Witch, oh my God, everybody started doing this real footage, Bigfoot and aliens and everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And God spewed himself because his kids are going crazy. Okay, so that was that his top 3? Or was that top 2? Because he said Blair Witch, 28 Days Later, and then Black Christmas. Okay. Alright. So are we doing most influential or most impactful? Or is it kind of just a mixture?
That was just kind of my idea. Sorry, guys, I had to mute because they were just yelling behind me and I was telling them to be quiet. I didn't want to, you know. But yeah, I'm sorry. I kind of considered impactful and influential being the same thing. Like something that had the biggest, like, pow. You know what I mean? Sorry. So I didn't know how you wanted to look at that, but.
Okay.
So.
Let's see, my top 3. Well, honestly, I just have like a top 2, and then the third one can be interchangeable. The top 2 are Texas Chainsaw and The Exorcist.
Okay.
at
because
this.
Exorcist basically has all the supernatural horror. It was the first of the hauntings and all that. It was basically, without that, you don't get Poltergeist. You don't get, I guess, modern films like Insidious and Conjuring. You don't get any of that shit without the without The Exorcist. You don't really get supernatural horror. As for Texas Chainsaw Massacre, that's the realistic horror, serial killer, slashers, you name it. That was pretty much it. Now you could say there's stuff before that and after it, but for the most part, those two films, you can break everything back down to that. It's everything else is kind of derivative of those. And then if you wanted to do a third film, maybe Jaws, because that's action horror.
Jaws would be up there.
And a monster movie at the same time. So that
we're trying to go to the monster movie thing tonight, aren't we, guys? Look at that.
Well, no. I'm not saying.
I was going to say Jaws because, Saw just doesn't make sense. I'm rethinking my answer here now. Because Saw, like as much of a Saw fanatic I say I am.
Yeah. See, you see, here's the thing. Here's the deal. You can't let the fanatic in you choose your decisions for you, because based on that decision, you can't do it. Because see, I was gonna say Evil Dead at first, and I realized Evil Dead has.
Yeah, if we did fanatic, it'd be Evil Dead 2 all day long. I'll fight anybody.
But at
Evil
the same
Dead 2
time,
every day.
I realized that it's not a game changer at all. It didn't change shit. It was just another schlocky, fun-loving. Awesome. Some friends got together and had a weekend to shoot some good times, and you know what I mean. But it wasn't a game changer. It wasn't setting the bar high. It didn't change anything. You know what I mean? So I opted out of it. I really thought about it thoroughly and thought, no, what really changed the game? What really did it? What was impactful? What was meaningful? What really did it?
Well, see, the reason why I pick Texas Chainsaw, I would have said Black Christmas too, but Texas Chainsaw, I liked it a lot more. I figured it's more realistic than Black Christmas is, in my opinion.
Right. Well, I agree with you on Texas Chainsaw.
Back when Texas Chainsaw came out, it was one of those first movies that everybody was talking like, "Oh my God, have you seen it?" It was kind of like a test of strength almost, or
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, have you seen Texas Chainsaw? And hear about it.
Yeah, a lot of people walked out of the theaters in the first 5 minutes because the opening sequence was a corpse. They
was throwing up and everything.
Yeah, and because up until that point, nobody had seen anything that gratuitous, that violent, that graphically horrifying on film, point blank. They hadn't. That image, other than like Holocaust videos and things, didn't show up in film. So people were literally witnessing this for the first time in their lives, something that horrendous shoved in their face, going, holy shit, this is terrifying.
Yeah. And then on the other side, you have The Exorcist, which is basically the supernatural version of that.
True.
Nobody saw that shit, and it terrified them.
That is true. And a lot of people.
No end.
America was very wholesome Christian back then too. Oh, look at you, son of a bitch. A lot of people were wholesome Christian back then too. So The Exorcist played not so much on the visual sense.
Well, people
so much
thought
as
it was
their
actually
spiritual.
evil.
Right.
So,
so much as on their
impressive.
spiritual senses,
Yeah.
of them being like, oh shit, I might go to hell just from watching this movie. So it's a good point. But all right.
Like I said, for the third choice, I would probably just say Jaws, because it was a horror. Okay, you can argue what it is, but to me, it's a horror film. It's just an action adventure horror film.
I can see that.
That movie made the blockbuster film. Everybody says it's Star Wars. No, it was Jaws. Jaws is what made the blockbuster film. Star Wars just came in and kind of did the 1-2 punch. But without Jaws, you don't get blockbusters.
You're right. Jaws was a definite, I would say, a blockbuster. It was definitely ahead of its time in the sense of being like a bigger, for being a monster. It was a monster movie. In heart, it was a monster movie. It was a giant fucking shark, So at heart, it was a monster flick.
But at the same time, to me, it's still a horror film.
It still was a horror film because it had tension, it had build, it had
it's a thriller
all the
too,
senses. And it had thriller. It was action film because it had all the parts. It was dramatic. It had a lot of like good character development. It had, honestly, I think it was an all film. It would be really hard to put that in a single genre if you really think about it and break it down.
Well, whenever somebody asks me what's my favorite movies, I say, what's my favorite movie of all time? It's a toss-up between Evil Dead 2 and Jaws, because Jaws, I think, is the perfect film. Evil Dead 2 is the most visual film you'll ever watch. Like, visually just stunning to me.
Right.
All the different camera angles and stuff. But back to Jaws. No, I just feel that that impactful and influential, and it's a horror film. And you can ask anybody, they saw that movie as a kid, when they go into the ocean or any body of water, they hear that music.
Damn it!
They hear that music.
Now I'm thinking about changing my top 3 because Jaws, now that I think about it, was a truly influential film, and you're right. It was definitely a hardcore influential film for everything that followed it, because it had been ripped off more times. It has been ripped off more times. I mean, just as many times as Star Wars has, at least. You know, and Star Wars has been ripped off hundreds of times, but just as much. Right. but you know, so you know, I god damn it, I might have to agree with the Jaws thing.
So that's my top 3: Exorcist, Texas Chainsaw, Jaws.
Damn it.
TCM is on our list this year.
Yeah, so TCM, that's pretty much a lock-in, unless you disagree, God.
Jaws is on all 3.
I'm not gonna say that I'm gonna disagree with Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because yes, it did, you know, influence a lot of stuff, and it was definitely impactful. But again, like you were saying, like, you know, without Exorcist, you wouldn't have this huge trickle downfall. But you know, without movies like, you know, Black Christmas and things like that, some of the Italian films like Torso and things like that, and the weird ones that were like playing with that idea of slasher films, you wouldn't have Texas Chainsaw Massacre probably in the same sense that you do. Well, I don't know, you might, because they didn't really use a lot of the POV shots and shit that you have, so it wouldn't really be affected by it.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's not really a slasher film.
No, it's basically just it's realistic horror.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it's slightly elevated with the cannibal aspect, but even then it's not, because there's been cannibals.
Yeah.
And like the person wearing the face, Ed Gein obviously was the inspiration there, but it's just that just distilled honest horror, like daily horror of the unknown, like going out into the, you know, middle of Texas.
Yeah,
getting
I'm just
attacked
saying
by the stranger.
Yeah, I'm saying that the Texas Chainsaw Massacre wouldn't have been affected necessarily by, because it's not got the POVs really. It doesn't really have a lot.
Oh no, like
so,
you said,
you know, like Black Christmas
without the
stuff,
slasher influence.
Yeah, it doesn't really have the slasher influence.
It's its own beast.
Yeah, so it definitely
it's its own beast.
It would have been its own standard thing too.
And I could be wrong. I don't know about timeline issue, but didn't it come out before Black Christmas and all that?
Oh no. I don't think so.
Well, Black Christmas is what, 70, 78? Wasn't Texas Chainsaw like 76?
74.
74?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Texas was before that.
Maybe it did. I would have to look it up, and I don't have my phone with me, so somebody else will have to fact check that. But
74, yep.
Yeah,
Texas Chainsaw was 74.
Okay, check Black Christmas
it's 4
then.
It came out 4 years before Halloween did. Halloween came out in 78.
Right. Well, Black Christmas came out before Halloween.
Black Christmas was also 74.
Okay.
So
I knew Black Christmas came out. So there you go. They're neck and neck. So, you know, in fact, I can go ahead and say that both of them would be, you know, equally of value in that sense, because they both set the bar at that point, because neither one of them predates the other, and they both are literally standards as far as that goes, because the Black Christmas definitely set the slasher genre, slasher tone in a lot of fucking ways. But that explains why Texas Chainsaw Massacre did not use any of it, because it didn't fucking even know about it.
Yeah, they were coming out at the same time. They were,
Yeah. So
being
okay.
made at the same time.
All right, you guys might be changing my mind here on some, but I don't know, man, because you know, as far as influential and impact goes, I'm gonna go. Oh, fucking ruin this on this one too. I am gonna say
That's a
that.
Dead by Daylight thing.
Yeah, sorry guys, that's on the game talk. But I'm gonna go ahead and say that you know, still like, you know, the fucking oh Jesus Christ, what else did I say? I can't even think of my games or
You
my fucking
said
movies now.
28 Days Later.
28 Days Later for the zombie genre totally changed the game on that one strong. I'm gonna hold strong and firm with that one, because it did. That was a huge game changer.
Yeah, but we're talking about the top 3 biggest game changers of all time, influential.
But that is one of them, dude. Because all zombie movies now hinge. All zombie movies since.
Well, here's the thing. Without Night of the Living Dead, you don't get 28 Days Later.
That's true, but that's just because Night of the Living Dead's... But Night of the Living Dead isn't a game changer, it's a game beginner. You know what I mean? It's a game starter.
Well, then what are we talking about? Because I thought it was most influential, most impactful films, not game changers.
Fuck! That's two different things. You're right.
Yeah, yeah. So, if you want to do game changer, then anything that James Wan does is a game changer. He does that every, couple years now. Wes Craven's a game changer.
Okay, I should really specify, I guess, a little bit clearer on that one. And my idea was just kind of a little bit vague and broad there. I apologize, gentlemen. So, let's just kind of work them in together then, I guess. Most influential then, I guess, would be like Texas Chainsaw Massacre would be more influential than Black Christmas because even though a lot of people...
everybody knows Texas Chainsaw, not everybody knows Black Christmas.
Right. Even though Black Christmas influenced a lot of the slasher genres, people don't realize it. People don't realize it.
Well, Halloween was supposed to be a sequel to Black Christmas, so...
I was going to say because Halloween's what really makes people think about the slasher genre, and they think that's the one that started it. So
yeah, and Halloween was basically Carpenter doing his best Dario Argento. Because he even said he was influenced by Dario Argento and Deep Red and all that. That's why the music is very similar to Italian Giallos because of that.
So damn it, alright. I apologize, gentlemen. My idea was a little vague.
That's fine.
I just had kind of a vague idea of what to go with tonight. You guys got me excited about giant monsters, okay? When we were talking about what we should talk about. And you guys were like, giant monsters? My ears perked up, okay? And I was like, fuck yeah, giant monsters. Now my idea's stupid. But you guys were like, okay, influential? That sounds good. Let's do that. That sounds professional. That sounds like real people would do podcasts. Let's not do giant monsters. That's dumb.
I don't know if somebody wants to hear us ramble for 2 hours about
giant monsters. Fuck yeah, they do. I want to hear us talk about giant monsters.
Second episode, we need to ingratiate ourselves with these people. We can't just expect them to listen to three jackasses for 2 hours talking about how much they like guys in suits.
Fuck yeah, we can. That's great. I would do that. I would be like, I love these guys. I love these guys even more now.
I mean, I'll talk about Ultraman all day long, but come on.
Dude, are you kidding me? See, that would be a total... That's episode 3. I don't give a fuck what y'all say. Episode
Ultraman,
3.
Ultraman, get the fuck out. That's
Ultraman. Ultraman, get the fuck out.
One of my favorite shirts is a cover from famous Monsters of Filmland, which it's Ultraman versus Godzilla, and then Jet Jaguars riding off as they're fighting. It's pretty epic.
That's funny.
Now here's your other question: which out of these two do you think influences more? It would be Texas Chainsaw or Halloween.
Which were more influential?
Yeah, to horror. Yeah.
More influential to horror. Texas Chainsaw or Halloween? Is that what you're asking?
That's what he's asking. Which one was more influential?
Halloween, because without Halloween you don't get Friday the 13th, and without Friday the 13th you don't get Nightmare on Elm Street. You don't get all that.
Because yeah, Friday the 13th was on like number 17 before Elm Street ever showed up. It was like ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I don't know. My opinion on that one, because like, again, I hate Myers, so I don't want to give him credit. You know what I mean? Leatherface is my boy, so I don't want to be like, oh, Michael Myers. I mean, which one's more influential overall? Leatherface.
Well, those two specifically.
Yeah, I know those two specifically. I know. Yeah. I was just saying between those two. Leatherface, the cannibalism thing, that set pace for a lot of other things, like,
The Hills Have Eyes.
Yeah,
all those.
Wrong Turn. It set standards. Huh?
Wrong Turn was a good one.
Right. It's just set standards for so many different franchises.
Yeah, Wrong Turn's a bastardization of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Deliverance.
But you get my point. It still set standards.
Yeah.
You get my point. It still set standards and bars for all these other cannibal movie franchises that, everybody loved the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, so they did. And then you got the same sense, you got Michael Myers setting, the bar for a lot of the slasher genre films,
Yeah.
So, like Michael Myers, or like Jason Voorhees, and all them kind of spawned off from that. So, Damn it.
Yeah, in terms of influential and impactful, I'd still have to go with Halloween, just because it really did set off a bunch of other movies. Texas Chainsaw, that just disturbed a lot of people.
Right.
Yeah, it disturbed a lot. Oh, hello. Speaking of Michael Myers, sorry, I'm being chased right now.
Oh, it's okay. By Michael Myers.
Yeah.
Again,
Yep.
everybody, that's game talk.
Yeah. Trying to think of. Well, anyway, back to let's.
I would say I'll go ahead and agree with you guys.
We're kind of. What's that when you go off topic?
Deviate.
Not ramble. Deviate. Yeah, we're deviating. So top
We're
3
deviating.
most influential, most impactful films.
Okay, influential.
Let's just start with number 1. We'll just work our way down. What we can all agree on. So.
All right. So, as of right now, most influential. How about this? We'll change it. We'll do a top 3 most influential films of all time, and the top 3 most game-changing films of all time.
Okay, yeah, that sounds fair.
Yeah. That way we can kind of, do that way.
So now it's a top 6 list?
Now it's a top 6 list. Technically it's a top 3/3 list, so it's total 6.
You're messing with me. Changing the game.
I'm
In
changing.
the middle of the stream here.
I am. Well, you know what? We're like transfluidic by game number-ish. I don't understand how this works. We're
So
trans math.
we're a really progressive podcast, apparently.
Yeah, we can do whatever we want. We make our own rules. We live by our own rules. Fuck it.
Alright, so top 3 most influential, top 3 game changers.
Let's do that. Top 3 most influential films. And go.
Texas Chainsaw, Exorcist, Jaws.
Alright, Crazy. Agree or disagree?
Influential?
Influential.
I agree with this.
You agree with this list 100%?
All 3, yes.
All 3.
Yep.
Texas Chainsaw, I'll say okay. I'll agree with that one. Jaws, I will agree with that one. I never really thought about it that way before.
Exorcist.
And The Exorcist,
Yes.
You got
can't
to.
think of-
Exorcist was crazy huge. And it's
you know,
basically it's the son of not son, it's the father of supernatural horror.
it was. I can't think of anything better that
Yeah.
would have been influencing the genre from then on.
Demons,
Like,
ghosts.
yeah, everything after that.
Yeah.
Everything after that. I'll go ahead and agree with that. I will.
Yeah.
Because you're right. It was huge impact on the genre, just everything. So, you know what? Top 3 list. There you guys have it. We'll make that short, sweet, and simple.
Okay.
Um,
So now we got to do top 3 game changers.
top 3 game changers.
The game changers. We're going to have to agree to disagree on some of it. With mine, especially. So.
Okay.
I cannot get crazies, by the way, for game speak. Because I just got knocked down.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna go over to this door and open it up and leave. And no, I'm just
Okay.
I'm gonna open the door
Alright.
right here. Crazy. I'm way too far away. I wouldn't even be able to get you even if I got there. Like if I ran.
He's camping me anyway, so it's all
Yeah, I noticed that. So, Chuck, heal up. Sorry, game talk, everybody. I may edit that out. I probably won't because I'm lazy. And he just
That's
died.
fine.
So
It gives me time to think about 3 most game-changing films.
game-changing
Yes.
films. I'm gonna go ahead and stay with mine, guys. I already discussed, explained mine, which game-changing
Did
films.
you?
Yeah.
So just say again. Don't go into detail. Just say again. Do your 3.
28 days later.
28 days later.
28 days later, because, duh. I'm gonna go ahead and say Black Christmas because it was a game changer. Just in horror films, because you're going from old school horror to like real.
Well,
more
okay. Game
slash-
changer means something
Okay,
that
never
could
mind.
be
You're right.
just-
Okay, let me
yeah.
think about it. Okay, 1 second. I'm about to die.
Alright,
So, go ahead and say yours. Since
Well, I have a question because I'm not on my phone right now. 28 Days Later, Dawn of the Dead remake. Which one came first? I think it was 28 Days.
28 days later.
20 Days Later. Okay. All right. Game changers.
give me 1 second, guys. I'll be right back.
Okay.
Halloween,
God damn it.
because
You sneeze.
it came out after Black Christmas, but Halloween did change a lot between creating Michael Myers, which created Friday 13th, and just went from there. I mean, even Sean Cunningham said himself when he did Friday 13th that he wanted to rip off Halloween. So
Right.
So it'd have to be Halloween. Then it would have to be Paranormal Activity, not Blair Witch, because Blair Witch was huge when it came out, but you barely got any really found footage movies after that because the market wasn't there yet for consumer. Thank you for leaving me, by the way.
Well, I had to. He was camping, dude. He wasn't gonna let you live and let me live. I had no choice. You know that.
Thanks, bro. Okay, yeah. So anyway, Halloween, the original version, not the Rob Zombie or the.
That was a game changer.
One that just came out.
That was a total game changer.
Yeah, the original
Rob
Halloween.
Rob Zombie's Halloween.
The original Halloween. Paranormal, because like I was saying, Blair Witch came out a little bit too soon for itself. Had it come
was
out
ahead
like
of its time,
5 or 6 years later, it would have been a lot bigger. I think it was huge. It was still huge. But Paranormal Activity, when that came out, it was just nothing but found footage films after that because the consumer market got to the point where everybody could afford a camera to do that. When Blair Witch came out, it still wasn't there yet. So Paranormal Activity, because that was big, and also it re-sparked the whole viral campaign that Blair Witch had done. It was basically it was a remake of Blair Witch, and it just came at the right time. So I would say it's more of a game changer than Blair Witch because of that.
Okay.
And then the third movie would probably have to be 20 Days Later, like you said. Until I come up with something better because somebody switched the rules on us halfway through the podcast.
You know what? You know what?
So God.
We didn't even have rules really for this, alright guys? So I can't switch rules if we don't have rules. That's how this works. You're making rules as we go, so fuck that. You make them, I'll break them. It works out for everybody, man. It works out for everybody.
Alright, so well, I'm thinking about the third one, but right now tentatively it's 20 Days Later. Let's go with Clown. What does Clown think?
Game changers that completely turned the fucking the movie genres around. Changed everything.
Of course, this first time I'm going around and be sarcastic with this because you know this is what I am with Jackass.
Right. We would expect you to. Jack Frost, dude, hands down.
Hands down, man.
That carrot.
Dude.
No, but in all seriousness, Child's Play 2, Halloween, Friday the 13th.
The original Halloween?
The original. No. Hold on. Let me think this for a second.
Rob Zombie's
You say
Halloween.
Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Rob Zombie's
I'm gonna punch you through this mic. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna find a way.
Honestly, kind of want to say The Purge. Even as much as I hate it, The Purge. Because
explain how they're game changers too, though. We also have to give a fight to our claims. You know what I mean, guys?
Well, okay. Yeah. Let me restate my list now because I'm being dead serious with this one. The Purge, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake from 2003, and I would have to say Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th. The first original Animal of Voorhees.
Okay. How are they game changers? Give us your fight.
The Purge. The Purge is this new media wave. Everything's trying to call everything you see nowadays mainstream. They all have similar masks to those weird ass masks they had in The Purge. Even as much as I hate it, man. Like I said, I hate that movie. I can't stand it. But that's what everything goes off of these days. Since that 2012 movie came out, everything nowadays comes off after that. Is what it seems like to me.
I can see that.
Now
it's been very
Texas
influential.
Chainsaw, that one's a simple one. That was the beginning of the remake genre. Crap. You know, we had after Texas Chainsaw, we had Dawn of the Dead, we had Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. We had all these remakes that came out. Evil Dead, technically remake, prequel, whatever you want to call it, sequel, whatever.
But
then,
didn't Platinum Dunes buy out the rights to like all of them at once, pretty much, and that was just the first one they happened to redo?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, then in that case,
What movie are you talking about?
Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003. If that was the case, though, they had already planned out pretty much to remake all of them anyway, man. So it wouldn't matter if they did Elm Street first or what; they would have just been redoing them anyway.
Well, you know what I'm saying, though. Like Platinum Dunes was the only people who did that, though. You got Rob Zombie did Halloween.
Yeah.
Only two Platinum Dunes did was Texas Chainsaw and Friday.
Yeah. Or I thought they did the Elm Street one, didn't they?
No, they didn't do. No, they didn't do Elm Street.
Okay.
That was a totally different. I think that was New Line Cinema. If I'm not mistaken.
No,
Yeah.
they did Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Oh, they did.
That was Platinum Dunes, yeah.
I thought they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I always said, we need to do an episode where we do fanfic, our
Okay.
ideas for movies. Because I
Right.
wanted to do a remake of Monster Squad using Leatherface, Michael, Freddy, and Jason.
That'd
I
be
think that would
awesome.
have been amazing. Yeah.
That would have been much better. Well, I mean, Monster Squad is
Yeah.
awesome anyway, but you know.
Yeah, but it would have been updated for today's kids. Well, more like 90s kids. But
Dude, that'd be epic shit. It'd be a bunch of
Yeah.
kids being dismembered, a bunch of kids being
well, it'd
beheaded.
be terrifying. It'd be
It would be
terrifying because
terrifying.
those guys are legit threats.
We should just make our own movie and call it the fucking Monster Squad.
Monster Squad.
Just to let people know it's really
Oh,
terrifying.
man. But no, I remember that because Platinum Dunes had all of them, and then they also were referring to maybe doing a Monster Squad remake, and I'm like, those assholes better do it.
Right. My
They
wife
better do
just
it, 'cause
my
Platinum
wife
Dunes
just
was talking
yelled.
about it.
My wife just yelled, "Sorry, husband, that's already a movie." No, not the fucking Monster Squad. That's not a movie, but just the regular.
That's the
Monster
porn
Squad.
parody. It's weird. It's really weird.
Yeah, no, I know not the fucking Monster Squad, wife, unless it's a porn parody. We're talking about. Never mind. You stay out of our conversation. This is our podcast. You go away. Anyway, so the point being is all right. So
yeah, wife.
yeah,
We're
wife.
having an opinion.
Yeah, you go back to the kitchen
Terrible,
and make me a
terrible.
sandwich. This is the part where you put. This is the part, Chuck, where you say the disclaimer.
Oh, yeah, the views and opinions of the members of the D team do not reflect the entire whole.
Thank you.
No problem.
You just remember that you're the official disclaimer guy. Every time we say something
Disclaimer
stupid,
guy.
every time we say something stupid, we're not supposed
Gotta
to.
memorize that specifically.
You do. You got to disclaim it for us, so. But
Well, here's my thing. Game changers to me aren't just the simple, oh, well, it's going to start remake a bunch of old stuff. Like, because like the new Halloween that just came out, I don't consider that a game changer. I just consider that, hey, people love this IP, let's make some more of them.
right, because sometimes they have to remake IP just because intellectual property. By the way, everyone out there who doesn't know what IP means, intellectual property. It means after so long they have to either use it or lose it. That's the rule. So if you own something, you have to either, after so many years, if you have not done anything with it, it goes stale and it goes up for fucking options where people can buy it out, or you lose the ability to keep it, and so you have to do something with it. And so intellectual property. Anyway, so yeah, what he's saying though, I think what KRAZY's saying is it just happened to be that the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 sparked this huge uprise in everybody getting a remake suddenly, a reboot suddenly. So that was kind of like a game changer.
That's true.
That's kind of a game changer where all of a sudden everybody was getting redone. So
Now, here's my question. Was that before Dawn of the Dead remake?
that's what he was saying, was like,
Yeah, that was a year before Dawn of the Dead.
yeah.
Was it?
That's
Okay.
That's what he was saying, like, right after that, everything got a remake. Everything got rebooted, recharged, and for a whole new world. So he's kind of saying that was a game changer for that reason. And that kind of makes sense. That's kind of
Yeah, it
accurate.
does.
You know?
I mean, now we're doing it started the remake cycle. That's what I'm
Right.
saying.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. That's what, in that
Okay.
sense, it changed the game. And that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'll give you that.
all right, Chuck, or not Chuck, sorry.
There wasn't any movie before Texas Chainsaw that started the remake craze. Not that I can remember.
Yeah, not a massive remake craze, no. Not.
'Cause I thought it was Dawn of the Dead, but if you're saying that came out after Texas Chainsaw, then yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah, because that makes you start to realize, doesn't it? Because before 2003, we were still in, like, the Scream era. We were still looking at, like, early films from the 90s that were not getting remakes. They were still getting sequels. You know what I mean? Like, we still had not gotten to the reboot era yet. And it was the first real reboot kind of era, like, movie. So yeah, good call on that one, KRAZY. I give you props on that one too, because that kind of makes me rethink a little bit. But
Yeah.
I'm holding firm to mine so far. Damn, I got.
Sorry you died, by the way.
If you hear this, what's that? Dirty old hobo, you're a cunt.
If you tune into
The
our
views and opinions of the individuals of the D team do not reflect the entire whole. There we
good
go.
job, good job, Chuck.
Yep.
But you're a dirty whore, and not you, Chuck. Them, the people there.
Dirty old hobo.
Dirty old hobo. Is their name Dirty Old Hobo on the game?
Yes.
Okay. Apparently, Dirty Old Hobo. They don't like you. Crazy doesn't like you. Just Crazy. So remember, they're the one who hates you. Go after them, not us. We love you. If you're a hacker, we don't have a problem with you. We don't have a problem with you.
I'm down with Guy Fawkes. That's what hackers do, right? Guy Fawkes stuff.
Yes, I think. Remember the 17th of November.
Yeah, that thing's Carfax. Okay.
So anyway, now we're digressing from the point. So anyway, Crazy, your 3 then were a total of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003, The Purge, because you are right. A lot of the. Go ahead.
New wave media horror is based after The Purge, which I think is stupid. That's the only reason why I went to Indies, man. Was because of that stuff. No, I do take that back now. Happy Death Day wasn't bad. If you seen that, that wasn't bad.
Yeah.
That wasn't really a Purge movie, though.
No,
but
here's why I
think
think.
It was kind of based off of it, though. Look at his mask, man.
Here's kind of why I think that, though. Because The Purge uses cheap kind of prop work. Not cheap prop work. Their masks were intricately made, like with all the neon lights and things like that. But they were made where people, could throw it together for Halloween pretty easy. It was like a spray painted hockey mask. It was like a,
Purge was just an amazing concept that they haven't really nailed yet.
Right.
Like when they make that movie, they make a movie good enough as the idea itself, it would have been a great movie.
Yeah, but they won't. They're gonna overplay it. They're gonna overplay it hardcore.
Because I tell people that The Purge tapped into the GTA video game culture.
Right.
That concept tapped into where society's going in a sense because of video games and stuff, and just how you can let loose all those emotions, the anonymity. I can't say that right.
Anonymity. The C-anonymity of it.
The internet.
The C-anonymity of it. Yeah.
But just the fact that people online, will just say god awful things, and just because they have that anonymous factor, and also the fact of playing GTA to get out their violent needs and urges. Right. It really kind of tied into the zeitgeist of what's going on right now.
Mm-hmm. It's that whole keyboard warrior aspect. You can talk like you're a big badass behind a keyboard, but you see someone in the street and you're gonna get your ass handed to you. That's why I tell people all the damn time. You're gonna talk big shit on the behind a fucking keyboard. You better back it up.
The Purge is very much like that. It's like, hey, one day a year you can do that.
Yeah.
Go out there with a chainsaw and a mask and just do whatever the fuck you want.
Right. So but I'm thinking the reason why he was saying a lot of movies utilize their look and their feel a lot. And I think it's because, like I said, it's easy to go to the fucking hobby store and get almost blank face masks, and just do a little bit of shading on it, and bam, you have a fucking mask that looks like theirs. Or you put a little X on the eyes, and some weird red lipstick around the forehead, and boom, it's like a Purge mask, and there you have a new horror villain. They kind of got away with doing it cheaper. You know what I mean? Instead of putting in a lot of effort and a lot of thought into it, The Purge kind of made it like a quick, easy, well, everybody can do it now. Whereas
what was that guy's name, clown, that we were playing against? What's his name? Yeah, fuck him.
Say what?
Sorry, go ahead, God.
One moment.
Okay. I'm gonna go play a quick killer game real quick so I can keep my mind on track, because I have some ideas I want to say. So.
Okay. Well then, please do.
I'll show my own screen. 1 second, I gotta go set up my build.
All right. One of the other.
Okay, so.
And technically, yes. Go ahead. Keep talking, Chuck. I'm gonna put you on mute for 1 second so I can talk to my wife really quick. But go ahead and talk.
Everybody's leaving me.
No. You go ahead and talk. He said he was gonna play killer really quick so he could concentrate on what he was about to say, so he can say something really quick.
I can discuss with you.
All right. So your top 3 is The Purge, Texas Chainsaw Remake, and what was the third one?
Well, I was actually going to change it out. It was Friday the 13th, but I'm kind of rethinking now because, you know, Halloween's up there. Halloween redefined. Scream's up there too.
Yeah. Although Scream, I wouldn't call it a game changer. It just revitalized.
Well, you know what I'm saying though, for the 90s at least, because after the 80s, man, it seemed like it was dead because, you know, Jason and Freddy was almost dead anyways because, you know, there was the shitty sequels were coming out at the time. You know, there was the whack.
Well,
7, 8,
when I think of game changers, I think of like actual like this is going to change how we do stuff, or this is going to change cinema for quite a while. And like Scream, it did kind of bring in that meta quirkiness. I mean, if you want to go back to Nightmare by Wes Craven, that really brought meta into the horror genre, if you will. But to me, Scream just revitalized the slasher with a little bit more tongue-in-cheek. It didn't go crazy. I mean, it did. There was a lot of slasher films that came out after that. I'll give you that. But there were a lot of slasher films in the '80s. Like there wasn't a lot of found footage movies after Blair Witch. After Paranormal Activity, you go on Amazon Prime or YouTube, you search found footage, and you're going to have a couple weeks worth of stuff. it's ridiculous. And like you said with the Texas Chainsaw remake, if that was kind of the first movie that started the whole remake craze, or was like very influential in that, then yes, absolutely, because remakes are just everywhere these days.
Yeah.
And like and Hollywood's been remaking movies throughout time. I mean, Wizard of Oz, you know, they remade that movie 3 times before the one we know came out.
Yeah.
But
What?
like Wizard of Oz was made like twice before the actual one that we know.
What are you talking about?
The
They
third
like
one
kept
was the
redoing
one we know and love, like the classic that everybody loves.
Yeah, it was
See,
either the third or second time. But yeah, that movie had been made before the one we know.
I had no idea. But I don't really give a shit about the Wizard of Oz anyway, so I wouldn't have known that to begin with. But I had no idea. Weird.
What's a classic? I mean,
Well, I don't give a shit. If I don't like it, I don't like it, even if it's a classic.
Nobody cares what your opinion is. Get out.
You're damn wrong. Everybody cares about my opinion. All right then. But you know what? You know, you're right about the Blair Witch. The Blair Witch, though.
Paranormal Activity, yeah.
Yeah, you are right. The Blair Witch was slightly ahead of its time, but it did. Dude, it did. Invitation failure. It did. I still say it was a game changer because. But you're right. God damn it, guys! I'm tired of you changing my fucking mind about shit. All right. I come up with these goddamn great answers, and then you motherfuckers come along and make me think twice about my damn answers, and I'm sick of it. Sick of it.
Well, I've changed mine. Mine's going to be Halloween still.
They're good answers.
Because Halloween really did start the slasher craze. It might not have been the first. It might have been
Right.
not.
It wasn't the
progenitor,
father. It wasn't the father of
but
it.
it was the one that basically made slasher genre a thing.
Right.
I'll give KRAZY the Texas Chainsaw remake because the whole remake craze and
Yeah,
constantly remaking
that's-
horror films, like The Grudge is being remade again.
I know. I told you guys.
You know,
that
just
already,
remaking
yeah.
horror films is in such a small window.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, Texas Chainsaw's been remade twice now.
Like 75
Since that
times.
came out.
Just so fucking
Yeah.
stupid.
And then I'm gonna stick with Paranormal Activity.
The Paranormal
Because
Activity,
that's
you
a
are right.
big deal.
Well, no, because pre-Paranormal Activity, even, dude, I was seeing a fuck ton of found footage films show up.
There were a couple, but they weren't like they were now. And like
We know that, wife. Do you want to get in here on the podcast? Wife, would you like to get off your ass, come in here and sit with me? Quit yelling from the other room. I'm waiting for her to get up, come in here and whoop my ass.
I'm waiting to hear a gunshot
Right?
or
Oh my God.
oof.
That's true, you can't. But, yes, we know Cannibal Holocaust. We're not talking about that. We're talking about something different. Anyway. And, you know, Cannibal
The
Holocaust
old
is
Cannibal Holocaust was the
Yeah.
first found footage. Yes.
technically, but we're not talking about found
That
Technically
footage.
it was, yeah.
You know, we're talking about found footage necessarily because, you know, we're talking about impactful, influential, you know, game-changing tonight. And yes, Cannibal Holocaust, but it was a different kind of beast. It was something that, you know, found footage, quote-unquote, yes, but...
Found footage was a part of the narrative, but that's not what Cannibal Holocaust was helping create.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It
People
was
didn't
something.
take the found footage part away from that. They took away the whole exploitive, oh my god, I think they actually killed people. Oh, and by the way,
Exactly.
we're killing some animals. Fuck you, PETA.
Yeah, exactly. It had
Super
the
gross.
found footage wasn't what that really was. So
Yeah. Okay, so can we all agree on the Texas Chainsaw remake?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say the Texas Chainsaw 2003 because it was responsible for the huge uprising of complete remakes since.
Okay,
I would
now
say.
can we
Yeah.
all agree on Halloween? Because me and Clown said Halloween.
You're talking about the Rob Zombie Halloween? Yes, absolutely. It was a game changer.
Talking about get your wife on here. We're doing a switch up. Get your wife on here.
I don't know. I'm not going to say the original Halloween yet as a game changer because it was more of a beginner.
Well, the mass slasher. You have to look at it like that too.
Well, Texas
Yeah.
Chainsaw and Black Christmas were the first of that kind of genre, and Halloween basically said, no, this is what we're doing from now on.
Right.
And that's what they've been doing from now on.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm saying, though. Right? At least you get what I'm saying, at least a little bit.
Yeah. No, I get it. No, I do. I understand the Halloween thing. I want to make damn sure that there's not a better option, a better alternative. That maybe
I don't know. It's
sway
kind of
with.
hard to top Halloween because even then Halloween also, that was another thing that we're not even talking about is the fact that that was a low budget film that did massive money. That was the first of its kind before Paranormal Activity, before Blair Witch. That for the longest time it had the record for the largest gross of an independent film and the highest because they made it for like 100,000 and it made like 100 million or something.
Right.
Like it's So we're not even talking about that because that's also a game changer in how it was because then that's why you also got a lot of low budget horror films thinking that they could do big.
That's true too, but I wasn't thinking on a financial sense, just
but even then that's a big deal. So
but that's more big on the business side of it,
well, yeah, but I mean, how many tons of low budget horror films did we get because of that?
That's, I guess, technically true.
That's why Friday the 13th happened because Sean Cunningham, like I said, he wanted to rip off Halloween and he wanted to make it cheap. So
but 28 days later, goddammit. 28 days later. You give me that one.
I don't know. That's gonna be a point of contention.
No, you give me that one, goddammit. Because you know I'm right. It changed the game. It did.
Well, let's agree on the second one first because the third one's gonna be the one of contention.
Man, I'm not gonna give you Halloween unless you give me the fucking zombies.
This ain't a barter system.
It is
not a barter system. Okay?
It's on the table.
I'm not gonna give you 10 pelts.
It's on the table. It's on the table. It's on the table, man. That's my deal. That's my goddamn deal.
Okay,
You take it.
Okay, yours was 28 days. What was your other two other than 20 days later?
Yeah. Shit, honestly, at this point, I don't even know anymore.
You
Right?
don't remember. Yeah,
I just gave it up. I just gave it up. All right, I gave it up. You assholes have swayed my opinion too many times. I gave it up.
This is the hill that you decide to die on.
Right?
It's 28 days later. Danny Boyle is so proud of you right now.
See? Fuck yeah. I'll get my 28 days later, you sons of bitches. I'm going to go ahead and say I'll agree with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 because, yes, that uprising of remakes and reimaginings and rebuilds and all this bullshit we have now. So I'm almost now angry at the 2003 remake. It almost upsets me now that it exists, even though it's one of my favorite Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. Now I'm kind of mad at it. Yeah, I'm kind of mad at it now, though, because it is the downfall. It's responsible for the downfall of horror movies now. Damn it.
It did a lot of damage.
It did, and I didn't realize that until this conversation, so thanks for opening my eyes, but at the same time, fuck both of you for opening my eyes.
Yeah, so we all agree on Texas Chainsaw. Now, it's
Absolutely.
Halloween. That's the point of contention.
No, I will
Right
give
now,
you...
at the moment.
No, I'll
Okay,
give you
you'll
Halloween,
give us Halloween.
if you give me 28 days later.
I don't know. Because if I look at 20 days later and I look at Paranormal Activity, I go with Paranormal Activity.
Nah, see, I want my 28 days later. So
Name the thing that 28 days later really did other than zombies are now infection and move fast.
that's what they did, and that completely reorganized the zombie structure in all of zombie movies. Before that, all zombie movies,
But we're not doing a
like,
podcast on influential zombie films, like what changed the zombie genre. We're talking about film in general, like horror movies in general.
But zombie films...
And just because zombies decide to run now, doesn't make it like, oh my god, the second
That's a
coming
big
of
fucking deal.
Christ.
That's a big fucking
Now
deal.
that was more influential to the zombie genre because let's be honest, the first zombie was Jesus. Without him.
God, listen to
There
my
is
wife
no
yelling
zombies.
from the other room. Don't forget Night of the Living Dead. Yes, wife. We know, wife.
God bless her, she tries.
She tries. It's okay. She's special in that, you know, in the forehead kind of way. But as far as it goes, did you hear her say "fuck you"? All right. So, but this would be much more fun if she was out here yelling curse words at me right next to me. But that's okay.
Well, how about this? Okay, so you're giving us Halloween, you're giving us Texas Chainsaw.
No, I didn't say I was giving you Halloween.
I said
I'll trade you Halloween.
Well,
Go
no,
ahead.
here, like I said, not a bar system. Let's just. We basically swayed you into you do agree with us on Halloween, so let's just say that's number 2.
What? No, I did
Texas
not
Chainsaw
say that.
number 3.
I didn't say nothing yet.
Or whatever, it doesn't really matter.
All right,
I'm
go
just
ahead.
saying, I say Paranormal Activity, you say 20 Days Later. That means there's one person that can be a tiebreaker.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But Crazy
But
hates me
Clown
anyway.
also
He secretly
but
hates
Crazy
me.
has,
So
but Crazy has some of his opinions, but it depends on if our arguments are stronger than his.
That's a good point.
So what do you think, Crazy? Oh, Crazy.
What is
Crazy's
that?
left us.
He go, what is it now? I haven't been paying attention to you guys. What?
Okay, Crazy.
Thanks
do you
for
agree
being a
with
part
us
of the
on
podcast,
Texas Chainsaw
dude.
and Halloween?
Yeah.
On Texas Chainsaw and Halloween, yes.
Okay, now, we're having a point of contention here. We know that you said The Purge. I say Paranormal Activity, and he says 28 Days Later.
I ain't even said my third one yet. Like,
Dude,
I
what's your
don't know
third
what y'all talking about.
What's your
I
third
can't
one?
decide yet.
What?
Right.
Okay.
Well, help us decide, then,
Psycho.
motherfucker. Shit.
I'm gonna put the Psycho on. Psycho.
He throws up Psycho on the list. Well, first of all, Crazy, let me say thanks for...
Psycho would
I don't want to
be...
hear it. That was Slasher. That was the first Slasher movie. That defined. I'll win. Hands down, I'll win. I don't want to hear it. No.
Well, here's your problem, Crazy.
No.
Crazy, here's your problem. We're talking about game changers. We're not talking about influential, because you should have brought that up when we
earlier.
talked about
When we-
the first three.
before we agreed.
Psycho
Before we
was
agreed.
a game changer. Psycho was slasher meta. I don't know what y'all talking about.
Dude, no, you should have brought that earlier up whenever we agreed. We're
Yeah,
done with
we're
that
talking
one.
about
We're done with
Jaws
that
and
one.
Texas Chainsaw and
Yeah, no, we're done with that
Exorcist. That
one.
would have been one
We
of those
moved on.
films.
We moved on.
Yeah.
You gotta
We
come
moved
over
on
to-
to- It's no longer about what started it or what was
Nope.
the first. Now it's about what's the biggest change, the shift in the culture.
Put it on its head.
Okay. Child's Play. Doll horror.
God damn it, you're just a big fan of Child's Play. Stop it.
Yeah.
No. I'm being serious. Like,
How
I'm
is it
being
such a
dead
game
serious.
changer?
That's
How is
my
it such a
third.
game changer? Because they had a
Doll
midget in a suit?
horror. Yes. That is
Doll
the
horror.
Leprechaun had a midget in a suit.
That midget was awesome. Alright, let's be honest.
So was Chucky.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it.
Alright, well, so here's the deal. If you go that route, then the same argument applies that was doll horror and not horror movies, period. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a game changer, it's just a changer for the subgenre of doll horror. You know, because that's what Chuck's arguing me about is, dude,
20 Days Later was a change in the genre of zombies,
For
not
zombies.
the change of the landscape of horror.
Right,
The landscape of horror changed with Paranormal Activity.
But see,
The landscape of horror changed with The Purge.
I wouldn't go that far with The Purge. The Purge was a great idea. And technically, if you want to go horror, I'd go more sci-fi action than I would anything.
sci-fi action with what?
The
What you
Purge.
talking about? For the Purge?
It was a political film. It wasn't
was
so
a
much a
political film.
horror film.
You're political.
Wow, strong argument there. You have defeated me, sir.
This battle of wits is won, sir.
Yes.
You know what, Crazy? You don't have anything to talk about. You ain't even been in the podcast. You're like a mile away a minute ago. You're like, what? What are we talking about?
Yeah.
So, welcome back to the podcast, everybody. The D team.
Okay, yeah, welcome back to the podcast. We've decided that out of the top 3 game-changing horror films, we have Texas Chainsaw, the remake, and we have the original Halloween. And right now we're all fighting on our individual hills for the third one. In my corner, I have
Halloween
Paranormal
Resurrection.
Activity. In Clown's corner, he has
Halloween
Child's Play
Resurrection.
2, or
Halloween Resurrection.
Halloween Resurrection, which I might give you that one because any movie that has the balls to have Busta Rhymes say "trick or treat, motherfucker."
Wait,
to
what?
Michael
When did
Myers.
when did
And then
Resurrection come
Psycho
up?
kick him out the window. That's pretty impressive. Okay, so in Clown's corner is Child's Play 2,
Right.
and in God's corner we have 28 Days Later.
20 days later.
That is the landscape of where we're at right now. So are we going to keep arguing this for another hour and a half?
Yeah, we have to agree on
happen?
one. We have to agree on one. That's
Because whatever
usually...
viewers we do have, we're going to start losing them.
No, we're not.
start
That's our
bleeding out like a
podcast
sieve.
format. That's our podcast format. We got to agree on it. We got to agree on it.
Eternal fight.
You know, fuck our viewers. Fuck our viewers. We got to come to a conclusion. We have to give them some kind of an ending. What island? What?
Killer Pinata, man.
Fuck yeah. You talking about the one that had the island, right? It had the dude from Buffy the Vampire Slayer and shit. Fuck yeah, dude. Killer Pinata.
Yeah, Brendan. What's his name? Brendan something. But
right.
So we're just gonna agree that the third one will be a shit post.
A Killer Pinata. It was the game changer. Jack Frost, dude. I love that movie, by the way. I have 1 and 2.
Yeah, they're comical. I love both of them.
Dude, I wish they'd make a third
have
one.
a vacation.
Yeah, that was the second one. It was great. I mean, I wish they...
Thanksgiving was a game changer.
Thanksgiving was awesome. All right. Legitimately, guys, though, between, you know what? If we can't count 28 Days Later as a game changer, you gotta agree with me, it was a game changer for the zombie genre. It was the biggest.
Zombies, yeah.
It was a game changer for zombies. Absolutely, I'll give you that.
It was the biggest changing. It's 110%. There's no fucking doubt about that. Damn it.
Warwick Davis.
Yeah, what about him? That was the Leprechaun. I know that.
I'm just yelling random crap now.
You're all like, pancakes! Fucking Warwick Davis! Like, dude, you having a fit there?
I have an idea for a movie. I just thought of this, The Killer Kool-Aid Man. I don't want to hear it now.
Okay, well,
Killer
you know,
Kool-Aid Man.
anybody that hears the podcast, you know...
His favorite weapon's a sledgehammer. Obvious reasons.
Wouldn't his favorite weapon be, like, drowning you with Kool-Aid or something?
It's a sledgehammer. If you don't get
His
that,
favorite weapon is childhood diabetes. That's what his favorite weapon is.
Oh yeah, more sugar. You know, like that would be fucking.
Who's that foot? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Dude, it's Macho Man Randy Savage is the fucking Kool-Aid Man, so he's snapping into a Slim Jim.
yes.
To a Kool-Aid. Oh, yeah.
I was about to say, that's what happens to your foot after they cut it off. It turns into a Slim Jim. No big deal. You know.
Slim Jim. That's funny.
Like, what are they gonna do with my foot? Oh, there it is.
So what are we gonna do about the third option here? Are we all just gonna agree to disagree and have our own choices and let the audience decide?
No, fuck them.
Or are we gonna decide?
No, we have to agree. We have to agree. Come on, we gotta come to some kind of conclusion. We gotta make it work. We gotta give the audience closure, man. Closure. I'm gonna go ahead and concede. I'll concede. Because I'll give you guys this. And goddammit, I will win a battle one day. I will win a battle. I will win it. You guys can eat dick sandwiches. A whole bag of them. I'll bring them to the party because I will win this one day. But I'll concede today. Again. But tomorrow we're talking big giant monsters. And
okay, so Paranormal Activity. So, Clown, do you agree?
We're on one now.
Welcome back to the podcast, Clown.
Just say yes, Clown.
Just say yes.
Paranormal Activity, do you agree that that's the third game changer?
I do agree.
Okay, there we go. Alright, so we have our 3 game changers. We have Halloween, the original. Paranormal Activity.
I'm not
The
agreeing with
Grinch
that.
porn parody.
And the Texas Chainsaw Remake. There we go. Okay. So, any closing arguments or... Wow, that was a pretty impressive shot.
I'm not going to agree with Paranormal Activity, but I'm going to agree with your argument.
You're not going to agree, but you're going to concede. Okay.
I'm going to
When did you become the South in the Civil War?
I'm going to concede, but I'm not going to agree, but I'm going to agree with your argument being a good standing argument. So,
okay. Those damn Yankees.
That's as good as you get, sir.
Alright.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
So, alright, I guess that would be the list. I guess.
Okay.
Alright, so
Anything
everybody.
else we want to add?
Everybody out there, just a recap? I don't think so. I think we're good on the thing. I mean, is there anything else you want to add there, Crazy?
Top 3 influential was Jaws, Exorcist, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original. Top 3 game changers was the Texas Chainsaw Remake, Paranormal Activity, and Halloween, the original.
Thanks everybody for joining the D team one more time with our horror debates. We're just gonna.
We love you very much.
We'll see you next time. Cue music.
My love is dependent on money, so.
Dun 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 dun. What the fuck are we doing?